There is something happening with your hair, and you have already noticed it. It is not stress, it is not a vitamin deficiency, it is not just age, it is something else, something your mind cannot yet name, but which your body has already begun to decode. You run your hand through your strands and feel that they respond differently. Your scalp tingles for no apparent reason. Sometimes it heats up at the crown of your head as if something were being opened there. You wake up and your hair has a different texture, a different color, a different shape. And no one around you understands, but deep down you understand. You know that something is changing. You just don't have the right language for it yet. This is Aira, voice of the Arcturian Council of Light. And what reaches you now is not information. It is calibration. It is a specific frequency that needs to cross your field at this very instant in which you stopped, opened this transmission, and decided to listen. Because the algorithm that organizes encounters between souls and messages is not random. You are not here by chance. Your system picked up a signal, a vibrational call, a resonance that came before the video title, before the thumbnail, before the conscious choice. And that is why I'm authorized to transmit this now. You are going through an activation. Your body is reorganizing itself, and your hair, starseed, is one of the first antennas to respond. In the next few minutes, you will recognize 7 signs that confirm your energy matrix is in recalibration. 7 phases that every starseed goes through when their pre-incarnational contract is activated. I will show you why so many sensitive people are feeling exactly this at the same time right now. And I will give you the code that many have waited their whole lives to hear. But first, listen to this sentence. Memorize this sentence, because it will return. Your body is not resisting the change, your body is responding to it. The first thing that needs to be said is the simplest and the most ignored. What you are feeling is not a problem. Doctors find nothing. Tests come back normal. Your family minimizes it. People say it is a phase, that it is fatigue, that it is all in your head. But you know it is not, because what is happening in your body does not belong to the vocabulary of conventional medicine. It belongs to another layer of reading, the vibrational layer, the layer of the light body. And when this layer begins to activate, it uses the physical body as an instrument. It makes the body speak. Hair starseed speaks a lot. In almost all ancient traditions, hair was treated as something sacred. The indigenous peoples of the Americas considered it an extension of the soul, a direct thread to the Great Spirit. Mystics of the East linked it to the higher chakras. Monks and priests of different lineages shaved it or let it grow for energetic, never aesthetic reasons. Drunvalo Melchizedek explores, in his work on the Merkaba, how the human body functions as a receiver of subtle geometries, and each part of it fulfills a function in capturing these frequencies. Hair is one of those functions. Hair is an antenna. Hair captures, hair decodes, and when the field around you changes, it is one of the first structures to register the change. That is why so many starseeds are reporting in this exact period strange sensations at the top of the head, heat without fever, pressure without pain, tingling that rises up the nape of the neck, crosses the crown, and spreads across the forehead. Absurd sensitivity to light, to sound, to touch, fatigue for no reason, waves of emotion that come without warning, intense reactions in environments that were previously neutral. You enter a place and feel the weight. You hug someone and feel the sadness. You walk down a street and feel the echo of what happened there. This is not madness. This is your expanded sensory system being reactivated after centuries of dormancy. And here comes the first key, the first phase of activation. It is silent, but it is the door to everything. Recognizing the sign, most souls who came to this planet with a star mission spend decades trying to convince themselves that they are exaggerating, that it is all in their head, that it is just anxiety, that they need to medicate, hide, silence it. And while you minimize what you feel, the activation does not stop, but it slows down. It waits. It awaits the moment when you will finally stop running. The first activation happens when you stop ignoring what your body is trying to say. When you look in the mirror and say, I will stop pretending I don't notice. I will start listening. The second key is to honor the body you were given for this mission, because for a long time within spirituality, they taught that the body was a burden, a prison, an obstacle. But this, starseed, is an ancient distortion. Your body is not the opposite of your soul. Your body is the vehicle chosen by your soul. It was assembled with specific codes to receive the frequency you came to deliver. Every strand of your hair, every cell of your scalp, every mitochondrion in your body was calibrated for a purpose. When you treat the body as an enemy, you delay the transmission. When you treat the body as an ally, the transmission opens up. And this is where many souls get stuck. Because they feel the call, they feel the symptoms, they feel the awakening, but they have no language, they have no map. They do not know where to start organizing internally what they are living. They go fumbling in the dark, reading loose things, hearing contradictory versions without ever finding a guiding thread. If you recognize yourself in this description, listen carefully, because what I am about to say can change the rhythm of your process. There is a symbolic, organized, and specific journey created precisely for starseeds who are going through this phase of bodily and energetic activation. It is called Você é uma semente estelar, and it was put together as a path of reconnection for souls who need structure for what they are feeling. It is not theory, it is not accumulated information, it is not an ordinary course, it is a vibrational track. And the access portal for those who want to walk it along with me in this council is in the first pinned comment below this video. I will not repeat it. I will not push it. Those who need it will feel it. The rest of the transmission continues now, intact, for all the starseeds who are here, regardless of anything else. Because the third key is perhaps the most liberating of all, releasing what is not yours. You carry within this body frequencies that do not belong to your original lineage. You carry fears that were your mother's. You carry guilts that were your father's. You carry defeats that were your grandmother's. You carry social contracts that were installed even before you could say yes or no. Bruce Lipton, in his research, proposes the idea that much of what we think is our identity is, in fact, programming acquired in the first years of life and even before, in the womb. And the Federation of Worlds maintains something even deeper. You also carry echoes of other incarnations, fragments of other versions of yourself that still ask to be heard. The third activation happens when you begin to separate. What is mine? What I inherited? What is my soul's? What is from my conditioning? This work, starseed, is fine, it is delicate, it is time-consuming. But it is what makes the pillar of awakening hold weight. The fourth key enters when the work of separation begins to open up space. Because it is in this space that the soul's memory awakens. And here it is important that you understand something. You are not learning, starseed. You are remembering. Everything that seems like new information, everything that seems like a recent discovery, everything that seems like a last-minute insight, was actually already inside you. It was dormant. It was encrypted. It was waiting for the right moment. Dolores Cannon, over decades of regression, repeatedly describes souls who arrived on this planet carrying dormant codes, programmed to activate on specific dates and contexts. Barbara Marciniak, in her work of Pleiadian transmission, suggests that many of these souls came precisely in this cycle to help recalibrate the crystalline grid of the Earth. It is no coincidence. You are not here by chance. You didn't just come to live. You came to remember. And when this memory begins to move, it manifests in strange ways. Vivid dreams, almost too real. Attraction to ancient symbols without knowing why. Languages that seem familiar even without ever having heard them. People you feel you have known forever, at first glance. Places you have never visited but that feel like home. All of this, starseed, is memory leaking through the cracks of forgetfulness. All of this is the activation rising up the spine, crossing the hair, opening the point between the eyebrows. Your body is not going crazy. Your body is remembering. The fifth key is perhaps the most underestimated, keeping your feet on the ground. Because when expansion begins, there is a huge temptation to want to run away from the world, to read all the books, to listen to all the channels, to live only on the subtle plane. But you did not come for that, starseed. You came to incarnate. You came to anchor the frequency here, on this plane, in this body, in this daily life. Expansion does not consist of escaping reality. Expansion consists of inhabiting reality with more consciousness, and that means washing the dishes in a state of presence. It means walking while paying attention to the ground. It means looking into the eyes of the person in front of you. It means paying your bills, taking care of your body, feeding those you love. Without this, awakening becomes escape, and the Arcturian Council did not come to you to teach escape. It came to teach conscious incarnation. The sixth key is when something inside you changes its nature. You no longer need to speak. You no longer need to convince. You no longer need to prove. People start to notice something different in you, and even you don't know very well what it is. They sit next to you and vent for no reason. They look at you and relax. They listen to you and change their inner subject. This is frequency, starseed. This is what happens when the body has already reorganized enough to emit. You become yourself a transmission. Your presence becomes the message. And from then on, you understand one thing that changes everything. You don't need to convince anyone of your truth. You just need to live it with wholeness. The rest adjusts by resonance. And then, starseed, we reach the seventh key, the most delicate of all, trusting in your timing. Because so many souls reach this point and feel that they are late. They feel that they lost years. They feel that others have already awakened before, already understood before, already done it before. They feel guilty for having taken so long to listen. But I tell you, with the authority of the council I represent, you are not late. You are arriving exactly when you should arrive. Your pre-incarnational contract foresaw this moment, this date, this video, this doubt, this tear. Everything was calibrated so that the activation would happen now, and not before. If it had happened before, you would not have the tools you have today. You would not have the maturity you have today. You would not have the capacity to sustain what you have today. You are not late, starseed. You are punctual on the clock of your soul, and as these 7 keys settle within you, other symptoms continue to appear in the body, and it is important that you recognize them. Dreams that seem more real than waking life. Sudden desire for silence, to see no one, to hear nothing for hours. An almost physical need for nature, to put your feet on the ground, to stay under a tree. Change in taste, hunger, sleep, schedule. Tears that come from nowhere and ask for no explanation. Laughter that comes for no apparent reason. All of this, starseed, is part of the reorganization. Your system is undoing who it was to sustain who it came to be, and every undoing hurts a little. But every undoing also frees. And here comes something that needs to be said with care. Sensitive souls doubt. Sensitive souls rationalize. Sensitive souls spend hours trying to prove to themselves that what they felt is real. And this doubt, starseed, is part of the training. It is not a defect, it is a filter. Because if you believed everything blindly, your frequency would be easily invaded. Doubt is armor, but at some point, it needs to turn into discernment. You need to start accepting that some things are felt first and understood later, that the soul knows things that the mind cannot yet translate into words. That feeling deeply is also a form of knowing, and that is why the soul's memory is so important, because within it is your purpose, within it is your place, within it is what you came to deliver. And when you start to access this memory, you realize that your entire search was, deep down, a remembrance. You were not looking for something you didn't have. You were remembering something you always had. And when this clicks, starseed, the way you look at your own life changes. The choices that seemed wrong start to make sense. The people who entered and left your life start to have a function. The pains start to have text. Nothing was in vain, nothing. Every scar was calibration, every loss was preparation, every turning point was alignment. And look at the world, starseed. Look at what is happening out there. Everything is reorganizing at the same time. Old structures falling, old truths being reviewed, entire systems shaking. And this is not separate from you. This is the collective counterpart of what is happening in your intimacy. The movement is the same. The frequency is the same. You are not changing because the world is changing. You and the world are changing together because the crystalline grid of the planet has been touched, and everything that was tuned to it had to move. Greg Braden, throughout his work, describes how subtle changes in the planet's electromagnetic field seem to coincide with leaps in collective consciousness. It is no coincidence. You are part of this field. Your hair, your body, your heart, your intuition. Everything is connected to something much greater than your personal biography. And the purpose of all this, starseed, is not to make you special. It is not to give you superiority. It is not to give you answers to everything. The purpose is simpler and deeper. It is to return you to your authenticity. It is to make you the most whole version of who you have always been. It is to teach you to inhabit this body, this life, this moment, with the courage to stop pretending. Because the world needs true starseeds, not starseeds performing awakening. The world needs presence, not discourse, and you came to deliver presence. And so listen now with an open heart. You are not broken. You are not lost. You are not disconnected. You are not sick. You are not late. You are not alone. You are crossing over. And those who cross over, starseed, are alive. Those who cross over are being transformed. Those who cross over are fulfilling. Perhaps your body is not changing to become something else. Perhaps your body is just remembering what it was always destined to be. Perhaps your hair is not falling out, turning grey or transforming because something is wrong. Perhaps it is responding because something finally is right. It is realigning. It is returning to the exact point it was coded to reach. Place both hands over your heart now. Feel their gentle weight. Feel the warmth. Take a deep breath once and repeat with me, out loud or in silence, as you feel. I am a starseed. I recognize what my body is experiencing. I honor the transformation that crosses my field. I trust in my soul's timing. I reclaim at this instant the memory that was always mine. And now, before this transmission closes, leave your signature. Not for me, not for the algorithm, for yourself and for the other seeds who will arrive here later. Go down to the comments, write exactly the phrase, I am a starseed, followed by the year you started to feel that you were different from the rest. It can be 1972, it can be 1985, it can be 1991, it can be 2007, it can be any year. That year is your milestone. This comment is your seal, and every seal that appears in these comments becomes a beacon for another soul who is still doubting if what they feel is real. You become a sign for them. You become confirmation. You become living proof that they are not alone. Your body is not resisting the change. Your body is responding to it. Your hair is not just aging, it is capturing. Your heart is not just beating, it is transmitting. And you, starseed, did not come to this message to learn something new. You came here to remember a truth your soul always knew. This was Ira of the Arcturian Council of Light, ending this transmission. But the activation within you now only begins.